you're very excited about this.
I am excited about this.
It's The Green Knight.
Hell yeah, dude.
This thing is so dope. I like this movie so much.
I was really sad last year when they pulled it because of COVID.
Oh, it was supposed to premiere during South by Southwest, actually. So last year I was going. It was the right after Sundance. I got the invite for South by Southwest, and so I had my tickets and flights and hotels booked to go to Austin, and it was still like we don't know if we're canceling stuff for COVID yet. So it was like right in that area, so it was just like waiting with bags. And The Green Knight was going to premiere for that, and then they canceled it like 3 days before the flight and crap.
So let me ask you a question then. Was it good that they held out on it, or do you think it would have fared well if they released it on streaming, or do you think the theater experience is pretty cool?
Oh, this needed to be in a theater, 100%. And this wouldn't have done well in streaming.
You don't think so?
An Arthurian film put into streaming
but
does not bode well for people. Because like this film's already up against the ropes because it's a King Arthur story, and people don't like those anymore. It's old, right? The Guy Ritchie King Arthur, it's old.
Nope, I disagree.
Really?
I personally, I'm not saying like community-wise, but I just watched. What was that one they did? King Arthur. He's got like a magic sword and like Jude Law's a douche and all that stuff.
That's the Guy Ritchie King Arthur.
Guy Ritchie, yeah, with
fantastic.
Oh shit!
Like, here's the thing.
No, I was shitting on him all before the show about the Guy Ritchie.
Because you hated it.
Oh god! All right. Goodbye.
Here's the thing. I watched that and I was like, okay, cool. Like here's like a King Arthur movie. But then I grew up watching Guy Ritchie films.
Right.
And like everything Guy Ritchie has touched that I've watched, I'm like, that's fantastic. Well done. And halfway through the movie, I realized like why this was so dope. And I'm like, what is it about this movie that's like? I mean, obviously there's like the like supernatural power thing, but like what else is different? But then I like Googled it really quick and I was like, oh, it's Guy Ritchie. That's what it is. Like freaking sick. I'm not saying it's not a top 5. I'm not saying it's like one of the greatest movies ever made. But like I'll definitely watch it again. Like it's good.
Plus, there were movies in the early 2000s that were based off his tales, you know, the King Arthur stuff. But I don't know, dude. I'm a slut for anything medieval.
That, all right. It made me stop what I was doing and turn it back over. All right.
So, like, I mean, because like there is a certain scene in this where I was just like, I would too, you know.
Well, Dev Patel can get it. That's 100%. And that's the cool thing about this, because like Dev Patel clearly does not look like he's somebody from the pale white English King Arthur era. So right. That, first of all, was a huge like touch up for this film to make me interested, because like, wow, that's a person that has been nothing but great in every film he does. He belongs on like films where he's the lead. And what a weird like idea for him to be this. This is cool.
Yeah. My favorite part too that drew me in was like the style of the crown. I don't know if that actually was real or if that was just like a style movie for the movie, but it looks so badass.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think The Green Knight, this is based off of the legend that spawned Lord of the Rings. It had stuff from all types of films. In fact, there's even one where we can pull a clip right here from a certain movie. That's that Green Knight. That's the one that that is in this movie. It's hilarious to think that that's because I've watched that since I was a kid, and that's the silliest, funniest part of the whole thing when they just throw the sword and it goes straight through the slit of the helmet and just couldn't play that on the show this morning.
Well, so the Green Knight, it's based on a random poem that they found, right? And they're like, there's like a lot of stuff with it, whatever, but like the Green Knight character itself,
this poem, actually, yeah.
Wait, what? Oh. Yeah, that. Yeah,
Is that a poem? The plot of this story is Sir Gawain. It has not really. Is it Galen or Gawain?
Gawain.
I can't remember. Do you remember Galen or Gawain?
I don't remember.
Gay blank is
it's King Arthur's nephew who is on his own quest because this knight comes and challenges him, being like, "Whatever you do to me, I get to do to you in a year."
Which is such a weird concept, right? If somebody just walked up to you and be like, "Hey, I want to fight you. If you kill me in a year, come talk to me."
Patrick, I want to fight you right now.
And like, you don't know me. I just showed up at your house and I'm like, I want to fight. Want to play a game? Or like, Or those little kids nowadays are just like, you got games on your you got phone video games. It's like that, but it's the Green Knight with a huge scythe.
Wait, what?
Never mind. We can move forward.
Okay,
we can move on. Just forget that.
But
that's cool.
Anyway, so
cool.
He has to go on that quest and whatever, and he goes on this adventure, trying to find the Green Knight, and goes through trials and stuff. And I don't know, dude.
He has no stories. King Arthur asks him at the round table, tell me about your life. I know nothing about this guy. And he's like, I have nothing to say to you. And then King Arthur's wife goes, you don't have any quests yet. And they're the ones that really push him to do this. And once he beheads the knight, it's such a freaky scene, because then he picks up his head, and then the guy, his like severed head opens its eyes, and it's like 1 year. And then he just runs off with the head attached to the horse's side as he's like just riding away headless. It's so cool.
It was very much like a Headless Horseman vibe to it.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the quest, there's so many different side stories, and that's what I want to get into is the side quest. There's so many cool things. Have you seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier? And both of you? Okay, the main villain, the redhead girl in that?
Yes.
She is in this, in one of my favorite quests in it, where he goes to a house in the middle of the woods and finds a girl after he stays the night. He quickly realizes that this girl's a ghost, and she needs him to find her missing head. And this head is in the lake out by the house. So he goes out and he's like, "My lady, are you a spirit?" And he goes to touch her, and he's like, "A knight wouldn't touch me." I love that they keep doing that stuff to the knights. It's like, have morals. And then he has to stop whatever he's doing. He's like, I just wanted to know who you are. But he goes down and he gets the head. When he goes back up to the bed where he was sleeping, the skeleton is there. Instead of it was such a cool, like that whole thing was like its own movie to me.
The whole movie is very visual, and it's shot beautifully. There's a lot of imagery that goes into play with it, like that's kind of alluding to stuff, and it's like a painting almost. Like there's a lot of shots where I'm just like, you could get that from a painting.
What's your favorite quest in it? What's your favorite? My
favorite quest? Dude, it would actually have to be the fox, the little cute fox that he finds.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I don't know, there's something about... You know what, though? You know what my favorite part of this, though? It was when he was talking with the what do you want to call him? The hunter in the house. Mm-hmm. And he's talking to him or whatever, and they're talking about why the Green Knight's called the Green Knight. But then the guy's lady has this whole monologue. Has a whole monologue about what green means and what yellow means, and how like the two transform each other. Because like when things die, they go red, but then like green takes over and replenishes it. And I'm like, this is really poetic. But then once she said that, all the coloring in the movie had a purpose, and it connected everything. And I'm like, fuck.
I didn't even catch that. What was your favorite thing from Green Knight?
My favorite thing was none of it. I hated it.
What?
Really? Oh man.
Are you being serious?
No Dwayne the Rock puns. No. You were out.
No dad jokes.
They shouldn't call it the Green Knight. They should call it the Good Night. It put me to sleep.
Oh God. Sorry, we had to cut the feed because our guest, just got completely naked and started screaming about how much he loved Jungle Cruise.
It's so good.
It's so good. But you like the Green Knight?
I thought it was okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know how you like medieval pieces?
Yeah,
I can't do time pieces because I can't stop thinking about how nobody has brushed their teeth in like
sex.
So long.
I think about sex when it comes to it. That's the grossest thing you could think of. But no one's washing down there.
So how do you think they wash the cum rag?
Oh God, we already did. We need to talk about that specifically because that was the biggest moment of the whole thing.
Yes.
And A24 loves to do this, right? So to set up the scene, Lord Gawain goes to this new place, which is kind of like the Castle Anthrax from Monty Python, where instead it's a lovely couple that are swingers, it seems like, where the guy's like, and it's Joel Edgerton that's playing the guy. He's like, I'm going to bring you tons of meat and stuff. I'm going to go hunting all the time. You give me the rewards of whatever you do when you're off in the thing.
Yeah, whatever happens in this house, you have to do to me.
Yeah, you reward me with whatever you gain from this house, right?
Right.
But then Lisa Vikander's character, who plays two separate people, which I thought was very cool in this. She plays the kind of like the
prostitute lady,
the whore, the neighboring whore, and she talks with a very, very thick English accent, which made me laugh a lot. There's one part, it's supposed to be a very sweet scene where she's talking to Dev Patel before he goes on the quest. She gives him this little like jingle bell thing, and it's very much a Christmas movie. It's so weird, dude, because it's a Christmas game. Yes. It's like the night is like, I would like to play a Christmas game, which makes the whole situation even crazier. Imagine some random asshole just shows up during Christmas and then it's like, wanna fight? Let's go. That's crazy that they like, what a silly idea, right? And they went with it.
But dude, you know what his gift was overall?
Love.
Courage.
I know, but we got to go back. So she's got this very Cockney British accent. Like when she says lady, it's lady. She's like, we could be together. You could be my man. I could be your lady. And then the next person, she's like this very nice British lady, like not definitely a different voice, wears like outfits and stuff. And then she just totally takes this knight's honor without him accepting it. And that's where we get the rag soaked in a certain liquid.
Elmer's glue,
which that's all I could think about. What did they do to make this? Like, what was this?
It's real. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
they do their own stunts.
Can't confirm.
They just give it like, hey, this is what we need. I'll be right back. And like,
Fonz was on set and like they were like, we don't know if this looks good, and then he just walked past him without stopping. Went, yep, and then just kept.
It's good.
Good. Didn't even look down.
Well, dude, I thought that was a shocking scene. Like
it was a shocking scene.
It wasn't showing anything at all. Like there's nothing super explicit in this movie because like it's rated R, and I'm like, well, it's probably because of the beheadings, right? Like I guess
the beginning part where he runs through the place to get his shoes on, he runs through like a bathroom where people are getting showered and stuff. That's the only explicit part.
I didn't notice that part. But anyway, so then I'm like, and that's like probably the start of the third act is after that happens. You know, like that's probably like the breaking point there, but. They cut to like you said, that shot of the jizz.
Comrade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Louis C.K.'s parts of the movie.
Yeah. It really was like, yeah. Alicia Vikander was Louis C.K. Do you mind if I
just, hey, Louis, could you,
do you mind if I'm just in the corner?
Well, then after that whole scene, she's like, you are no knight. And then she leaves and he's like sitting there crying and he's like, I gotta get out of here. But there's a lot of mommy issues in this movie too.
Mm. Well, and she has a really great scene before, and it's one night where they're talking about what is he trying to get out of this quest? Like, what is your reason for it? And what's going to happen to you once you do, right? And she just gives this whole timeline of what's going to happen to him in life. And it ties in to the ending because when he finally gets to this church to see the knight at the end, he's got the comrade with him, which is supposed to protect him. Like they actually gave it to him and they're like, this is to protect you.
Yeah, how do they clean it?
And he ties it around him.
No, they put the chick's head.
They didn't clean it. I guess just dried up, crusted.
I mean, you kind of just like
this is the grossest. I can't believe that the Green Knight has made us need to talk about it, so I can't like say no. And this is we've talked about not trying to be dirty, and now we're just going right back into it.
Mom, if you're watching, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Dude, well, I saw this there was like a dad and the son in the theater. And when that scene happened, I seriously saw the dad go like, ugh, and like try to like grab his son because his son is like maybe 12. I don't know why you're taking your son to this movie when he's 12, but maybe the son knows what that is. I don't know.
The old like eye cover, just like
that's what I kind of felt like, and you could hear some people down below because like back row always right. They're like there was like that slight gasp, but I'm like, was that from the movie or was that from people?
Yeah, in A24, there's always that one shot they have in every movie where it's like, oh. Okay, moving into the next thing. It's in the contract, I guess.
I was fine with it up until I realized it was like the way the movie resolved itself. I'm like, because he takes off the belt and then he's like, you did it, son.
It's courage.
Well, do you know who that you got that was Joel Edgerton, right? The knight was Joel Edgerton pretending to be he was the guy in the house, which when he leaves for the quest, he has to kiss Joel Edgerton. Like he's like, that's what I get from you. Because
have you looked into the original poem?
Yeah, and it's a lot worse. It's like they basically make him a sex slave for a while.
Shit.
Yeah. The poem's really erotic, like more held back than this or not held back.
I would like
this was.
3 kisses. They always asked for 3 kisses.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could stay here for 3 kisses.
Well, the way it
get
played
this
out
food.
was supposed to be his mom in this movie was actually supposed to be the lady who was actually a witch. And so they switched some parts around. But Joel, like you said, Joel Edgerton was actually the Green Knight in the original poem. Like that's who it was supposed to represent. And he did look a lot like him too.
Yeah.
So
transformed back into him. But when Dev Patel is about to cross over, the fox finally talks and he's like, "He will die."
Was that King Arthur?
I have no idea.
It sounds like Sean Harris's voice.
I'm not that deep with that. I was just like, the cum rag threw me off from any type of deepness from there. I was like, all right, let's just go. And so he gets past, he goes to the Green Knight, and the Green Knight, the rule is either I get to strike you the same way that you struck me, and he just straight beheaded him. So I get to behead you, or I'll strike you on the cheek, and we will walk together we'll walk together with mutual respect and be friends or something, right? And so he gets to the place and he waits for like a couple days. The knight just kind of stays like a statue for a while. And then suddenly he moves and he goes, "You came, you ready to go?" And he's like, "Oh crap." And he flinches the first time the knight's about to do it. And then the knight just starts belittling him. It's like, "You coward, I didn't flinch when you beheaded me." And then from there, something happens.
Yeah, he runs away. He full on's like, "Well, I can't do this." He runs away, finds this horse, and then goes back to the kingdom and becomes the new king.
Pretends that the whole thing that he did the thing. He goes to the whore and gets her pregnant.
Asshole in this
gets her pregnant, takes the baby. Now she's alone somewhere in the area.
He gets remarried
to a different person from a kingdom. Then he starts this crazy war, and he's putting his people in peril, and they're dying, and like everyone hates him. They're throwing stuff whenever he walks out of his castle, and then suddenly it cuts, and he's back to where the knight's about to behead him, and he didn't do that. That's kind of like yeah. And right before the knight's about to do it, he goes, "Wait!" Takes off the sash that was supposed to protect him, throws it down, and he goes, "Okay, now I'm ready." And then, this is spoiler for everybody. I'm very sorry. We're spoiling it. He grazes his neck like this, and he goes, "Very good. Now time for the beheading." and then it cuts, and that's the end of the movie.
You don't know if he gets beheaded or not. In the original poem, he does not. But so the mom in this, though, with that satchel, is actually his like half sister in the original poem, and it was all planned to make him a full-on knight. Like it was all a game from the start. It's a fun movie. I'd buy this in a heartbeat. And the soundtrack, can we talk about the soundtrack?
Oh, it's real good. It's weirdly that it's a Christmas movie. I don't get it.
Huh?
I don't get it. It's a Christmas movie, right?
Yeah, dude. This is gonna be playing.
Christmas movie like Die Hard's a Christmas movie, though.
It's gonna be playing during Christmas time for sure.
What was your rating on it? I'm just kidding.
I do have a favorite part.
Ooh, favorite part.
Ooh, yeah, on to your question.
I'm sorry. We no go. Oh God.
No, Fonzie, go.
No, you go.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. I forgot it.
I hated all of it.
I'm just kidding. I like the Attack on Titan part where they're like, do you guys watch Attack on Titan?
The anime show?
Yeah.
No, I hate anime.
Oh, the big monster giants.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That part was sick.
Was he tripping on shrooms that time? I guess questioning.
He was tripping at one point. And have you seen Killing of the Sacred Deer?
Yes. That kid was in it.
Kid showed up again. That kid's disgusting.
Little shit.
That Cheeto dust fingered weirdo.
He's so weird.
That's a guy that's like got into games on your phone.
Yes.
Like he'll show up to you at a place and yell that. And he does that basically to him because he goes on the quest and he goes, "Give me your horse and stuff." And you're like, "I'll do your quest." And they just rob all of his crap and go. It was a fun movie. It is weird. And again, if you are someone that is not into like the Hereditary, Midsummer type stuff, this isn't for you.
It's slow. It's a slow burn.
Well, it's slow. And again, Cumrack, like if that is like, I'm out, then yeah, there's no amount of goodwill that will just immediately take it out. If that.
Yeah, it's art house, medieval. I mean, it's fantasy, but also felt very horrific at times too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what were you asking though?
The poem. So the poem that it's based on, like, how long is that poem?
I think it's pretty long. I don't know actually. I just Wikipedia'd
I
it.
was gonna say
It's like a pamphlet.
It's Old English too, so like there's a lot of different translations.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was saying. I feel like if this is the only thing that bugged me, because they went really hard with like the production design to make it feel like it was medieval and like artsy fartsy, you know, like the thing that'd be the cherry on top is if they actually spoke Old English and everything was subtitled. Not
Yeah,
like the
you've
Witch
said
Old English.
that,
Dude,
and
I
I
know.
don't
I mean,
like
full
that.
on, like if this was subtitled and like artsy fartsy, dude, fuck yeah.
I know you would like it, but people need to understand what's happening. They
That-
learned
that
from
would
The
be a
Witch.
come
The
rack for
Witch
me,
was
dude.
way too Old English, where it's like, I don't know what you're saying. And they were talking for a half hour.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I yonder fetch the hail or whatever the thing, or Lighthouse. Lighthouse did a good job of doing a different like
Pirate
era
talk?
thing. Yeah. You liked me, lobster, didn't you? I like that. Have you seen Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the
What's your lobster
mermaid,
accent?
yeah.
I want to hear it.
Lobster.
You like me, lobster, didn't you?
Lobster.
Oh man.
So what would you rate this overall?
I gave it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really good.
I gave it a 6 out of 10. Fuck you.
Oh, dang it.
I gave it 4.5 out of 5.
Nice. Well, I think that about does it. This
Dude, you gotta run a certain ad before we log off.
did I miss?